This is video blog 1, and we'll start with the first question of what do you think Holbein was trying to achieve with anamorphic feature of the portrait? When Holbein created the anamorphic image, I think he was trying to show that everything comes with a price. The image has contradictory viewpoints and hidden meanings of the picture. The skull and crucifixion are all representations of sacrifices, human mortality, and religious views on that in that time period. It shows that although the men in the picture may be wealthy and painted in a way some consider godlike and powerful, they are not invincible or any different from the rest of society that God made a sacrifice for. The men in the image show placement in society, showing wealth, happiness, accomplishments, stature, and advancements in society. This image represents the social, religious, and geographic states. When researching the image further, I grew more amazed at the attention to detail in the painting. For example, the broken string on the music instrument that represents the broken religious culture at the time. It is really interesting in how he altered the perspective between the skull and the lute within the image behind the men, because it illustrates the contrast of viewpoints. So the skull and crucifixion are a lot darker than the two men with their accomplishments and advancements in society. So for the second question of do the artists, including Rauschenberg, Griesbach, Holzer, and Gonzalez Day, create an experience of changing anamorphic art? I believe that they do. I believe anamorphic art is used to force people to change their perspectives within an image, both symbolically and literally. All of these artists are very passionate in their work in order to create a story for the viewers. When looking on the surface, individuals often miss a lot of important meaning within an image. The symbols that each artist create each bring out their own perspective of their work. So Rauschenberg uses collages to create a story, so they're really complex to see if you're just looking at it right away, but once you go beyond just the chaotic beginning of what's on the surface, you can see different perspectives and what he's really trying to get. Example is the John F. Kennedy version, where there's different viewpoints of his face. Griesbach, he shows perspective with the focal points of his work. So there's an image of a man sitting at a desk, and it, in my view of what the picture means, is it's showing his perspective as a human, how he sees the world, and then how the world sees him. So some are just lines representing one viewpoint, and then the colors in the image show his viewpoint of how he feels he is seen in society, contrasted in the view everybody else sees him in. And then Holder uses words to illustrate the story that lies within his pictures, and Gonzalez Day also shows two sides of a story, letting the viewers interpret what he's trying to show. The third question is, can you imagine some common thread between the artists of the 1500s and contemporary artists? The commonality that I see between them is that they both want to make an impact to the viewers and send a message of what they believe. I think that's common with all artists. It doesn't matter what time period you're in. The themes and techniques used emphasize the point they're trying to make and influence viewers to leave thinking more about the image, not just, oh wow, that was pretty, just leaving it with something to think about. Some use more of a symbolic approach, and some others use literal. So words are more literal than maybe the collage of trying to figure out what lies within the collage. Freedom of speech has changed over time, but the artists still have their reputation to worry about. So a lot of times, if there's a controversial topic, artists can use a symbolic way of showing their viewpoint instead of literally, so that their reputation isn't tarnished. And then my general thought analysis of the art is I really enjoy the art. I like images that let me interpret what I think the image is. I appreciate complexity, and all of the artists do that with their anamorphic work. The colors used show different moods and times within society and an individual's life. I always like seeing the dark colors versus the bright colors and changing moods of the focal points of each image. The use of grayscale allows for viewers to see more clearly into just the image without the distraction of colors or movement or glitch. It's just clearly there in black and white. Saturation also oftentimes makes things less clear, even though it's emphasizing a mood, but that also can work really well when an artist is trying to portray that type of message within an image. And then just all of their techniques are really cool to see what's within the artist's brain and what they want viewers to take away from their images. So those are the answers to my questions for video blog 1.